Okay, so was anyone not here last year who's here today? Awesome. So you recognize me. I'm Casey. I tend to do the Web 2.0 training sessions. So this year what I thought we would do is spend a lot of time on Google. Were you in a session yet that did Google Docs? Okay, you'll do that also. One of the other sessions is going to show you Google Docs. I'm going to talk about Google Forms and some ways to use formative assessment in the classroom and just some skills like that. Please feel free to raise your hand, ask questions. We have plenty of time. I tend to finish about 20 minutes early, so take the time to ask questions. If I'm going too fast, slow me down. I want you to use your iPads, so I'm going to ask a number of times for you to put your input in, and there are 2, 4, 6, 8 of you, and it tells me how many people put their input in, so I'll know if you're not paying attention and not participating. We will also be doing something where you have to put your name in, then I'll really know if you're not paying attention and not participating. So these are things that you can actually use in your classroom personally, or you can use them in your classroom if you have computers. Most kids now have an iPhone, some sort of device. Is this high school or? Okay, that's what I thought. And in today's society, the BYOD, bring your own device, is going to eventually come into play. So if we can kind of head it off at the pass, excuse me, then things should be pretty good for us. I asked you to go to this website so that you can see the cookie trail that I'm going to go to show you exactly where all my stuff is. So if all you remember is that you have the PA3 wiki space, we're going to go straight from here. So is everybody on this right now? Yeah? All right. So, I'm sorry? Yes. Okay, thanks. I love confirmation. So we're going to come over here to the left, and you're going to find under resources where it says Web 2. So if you'll click on that. And the internet in here does kick you off every once in a while, so if that does, just let me know, and we'll wait for you to catch up, because I want you to be doing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing together. Right there at the top, it says Casey Testerman's iPad and Web 2.0 site. That's where I want you to go. And it should look like this. Whoops, maybe like this when you get there? Okay, so I just want to point out that I have a number of things at the top for you. That's my email. Feel free to email me, even if you get to school. I'm not teaching at Coatesville this year. I've actually stopped teaching there. So I have a little more time. I'm trying to do some consulting and things like that, and I'm also doing another thing on the side. So the Gmail account is probably the best bet. If you're somewhere in the middle of the year and you're like, oh, what was that thing that she talked about? Shoot me an email. I'll be able to send you an email back, or maybe some sort of link. Pretty much everything that I go over, I also have screenshot instructions on my page for you, so that if you're like, all right, I don't want to contact her, I know she told me something, it's all on there. So you'll be able to find everything as we go. There are also 2 other websites or wiki spaces that I've created. The one between, right after my email, that one is on blogs, podcasts, and wikis specifically. Those are the 3 things on that one. And then the KCT paperless is all about how to make your classroom paperless. I hate using paper. We of course had a paper shortage at our old school, and we were told we were rationed how much paper we could use in the classroom. I didn't have to worry about that, because everything that I did was on Moodle, on podcasts, on wikis, Socrative. I did the tests online, everything, so that we weren't wasting paper. We were just, burning electricity and text messaging, so whatever. So those are on there. But what I want you to actually see is on the left-hand side over here. This is everything from last year. So maybe you were a little overwhelmed last year and you didn't go to any of these things. You guys are high school math, right? Oh, science. I never know which one I have. High school science. That's the link that I created with a number of apps already for you to use in the classroom. But there are tons of things. You can look at the middle school science and look at the elementary science and see if you can bump everything up to your level. That's fine. In addition, in February, I went to Philly, and then I was at the IU and did a session. Anybody remember that? It was like a Tuesday. You guys had Tuesday meetings. So that's this right here, the Web 2.0 update. I talked about blogs and good notes and things, and using the iBooks, and it would read to you. I just got back from a flight on Wednesday, and what I did on the plane was put my headphones in. I had my iPad. I opened my book, and then I just scrolled my fingers and I let it read to me with my eyes closed while I was on the flight. So it was really very helpful, and that was the thing that a lot of my students who were struggling with doing comprehension and tests, they were able to read those books or have someone read it to them, and it was increasing their comprehension skills. So those are all there for you. Please feel free to use those again. But today we are going to use the one at the very top, 2012 Immaculata sessions. So you should see a girl in pigtails if you're in the right spot.
On that previous page where you had a present,
Ooh,
why didn't it show?
I'm so glad you said that. I skipped that part. Let's go back to that really quickly. What I want to show you, and I'll do it on my iPad so you can see it too, is you probably have a big blank space right here. All right, let me show you. We're going to flip to my iPad. I'm running it off the PC just so that it's quicker and it's not yellow, because on my iPad for some reason it's yellow on the overhead projector. So right now you should see this big blank spot, right? Which is ridiculous. But if I go to my favorite browser, which is Puffin, you will have to, I'm going to tell you what it does, and then you will decide whether or not it's good enough for you. They did mention something down at Goddard about Photon as a Flash browser. I have not used that one. Everyone said it was fine.
I haven't.
Right, it's $4.95 or something like that. This is Puffin. Puffin is free for the first 2 weeks, and then it's free for everything but Flash. So if you find, what I would do, I liked this one because it was free. So I tested it out to see, am I really going to use this? Is this worth my time and effort? How many times do I actually go to Puffin? And I found I was going to it all the time because I needed something for Flash. My kids go to a school where their home page for their school is all Flash. And I was like, all right, well, I need this browser. So as you can see, you can do it right from here. Anytime I need to fill in something where I open it up on Safari and it's like that lovely little red box with the F in it that says, sorry, you need Flash, then I pop over to Puffin. I don't use Puffin on a regular basis because it's slower, because it's trying to run everything in Flash. But it works really well. As you can see, I can show you the Prezi. I promise you, I'm on my iPad, and it's the Web 2.0. But what I do on my home bar is I actually put them right next to each other. I have my Safari one right here, and I have my Puffin one right here, so that I can pop between each one whenever I need to. Again, find the Puffin Lite to start with. See if you use it. If you don't pay for it. Or go use your computer. I never, ever, ever use my computer. I tried to use it the other day because I was going to try and download something, and I was like, too much trouble. So I don't use my computer. I use my iPad and my iPhone for everything. And now I really can, because I have the Safari browser that allows me to see the things that I need that Adobe and Apple don't play well together. When you walked in, I'll show you this while we're here. I had this up on the screen. This is actually an app called Paper. It has a bunch of journals that you can write in, draw in, make notes in. So this is what I did at Goddard, I'll admit. Okay, this is what I was doing at one session, because it was way over my head about the ultraviolet light one. I drew this. It's not as great because the glare is green for some reason. This is the one I drew in my room at the hotel at Goddard. As you can see, I was a little bored. My kids asked me to draw SpongeBob and Patrick. And then while I was away, I made this one and I sent it to my husband. And down here at the bottom, you just click that button and then you can email it, share it, whatever. So why do I show you this? Not because I think you're all artists in here, but you can have kids visualize what you're talking about. I know you're high school, but I drew this one. We were reading a story, and so I drew this one for my daughter and wrote worst class trip ever. But you could be talking about something scientific. Oh, and look, oh, did you see that? It was like meshed over. So I was just trying to show them, that my kids, that the orbits get larger and larger, and then they actually come off the page because of how far away they are, the planets are. So this can be emailed. So if a kid has this, or you have iPads in your classroom, oops, that's not the one. If you have iPads in the classroom, then they could actually work together, create something, a poster, something, whatever, and then email it to you, and you can cut down on having to buy posters and glue and scissors and markers. I know that in my classroom I had a lot of that because I tried to always hit the different levels of students. Some are visual, some are kinesthetic, all of those things. So I tried to hit that as much as possible in my classroom. And one of those things was there were kids who drew better than they spoke. So it was a lot easier for them to explain to me what we were doing in class by drawing. It's just a different way of looking at things. So that's the one I was just showing you. All right, let's go back to talking about the sessions. Excuse me.
I have a question.
Sure.
You cannot create a Prezi with the iPad?
Mm-hmm. If you use the Puffin.
Or if you use the Puffin,
Mm-hmm.
that'll make it.
It's very time consuming because like sometimes you'll go to click to add text, and because of where it is, it's like you want to add text over here and it's doing it over here. So if you just want to get something down, that's what I was doing. I was really quickly creating it on Prezi, and then that's one of the reasons I would turn on my computer to alter it just to make sure it looked clean and crisp. But yeah, you can create a lot of things now just because you have that Puffin.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure. All right, so what we're going to do is, see where it says click on this link to access the survey for this session? I'd like you to do that right now. Click on the link, not where it says spreadsheet view. So click on the link to access the session. What you're going to do is it'll take you right to a Google quiz. And this is the quiz that hopefully you're paying attention because it's going to track who you are and what you're doing. And I can send this to whomever asks for it. So who showed up for sessions? Here you go. I have who showed up for sessions. Oh, may I use yours? This is what you should see right now. Whoa, I just dropped off your, sorry. This is what you should see if you're in the right spot. Okay? Yep. Looks all fancy schmancy. Thanks, sorry. I just created this on Google Form. Anybody need help? Yeah, the signal in here is really slow and it kicks you out often. So I have found that those who sit to the back of the room, it's down there and it tends to keep the signal better up front. The people who sit all the way over there, which I always have a group that sits all the way in the back right left corner, they're always like, I can't, it won't, it just unhooks. Well, move closer. I did shower, promise. Okay, so yep, that's it. And actually, will you leave that screen on? Yep. Thanks. When you're finished, I want to show you something that's great about this in case you don't have enough iPads or devices in the classroom. How many of you have a set of iPads or something in your school, in your classroom? Okay. My kids go to a school where they're middle school, every student has an iPad. And so this is where we're headed. It's just some schools are there, quicker than other schools. So let's say, thanks Neil. Let's say that Neil has his, and I have mine, and Leah has hers. So what you can do with this, what you'll notice is you probably just skipped over this page or closed it out. As soon as he finished the quiz, it has two options: submit another response or create your own form. What's great is as soon as he's finished, he can click right here on submit another form, and bam, hands it off to the next student who can then fill it out. The way that I use this, how many of you on back to school night have parents fill out a sheet when they come in, right? Asking for emails, phone, best contact. I don't do that anymore. I use this. They come in, I have computers set up in my classroom, and they can do it from their iPads that they have, or their tablets, or their iPhones. And I say to them, go to my Moodle page, or I'll have it set up for them if they're using my computer. And they just type in, and I ask for their name, their spouse's or partner's name, their email, their phone number, best time to contact them, best way to contact them, and then anything they want me to know about their student. They type it in, and then you can't see this, but I'm going to show you what you just responded. I click on the spreadsheet, excuse me, and let's see if I can find someone here. There we are. Okay? The choosing more than, if you only chose one, see, Neil was able to say 6 to 8 and 9 to 12, so it made it the actual grade level, but the rest of you did 9 to 12, and so all of a sudden it says, oh, that must be a date. So the spreadsheet made it a date. Okay, I have to change that. I haven't done it yet, but I just wanted to explain it. So what I have here is, if I need contact, oh, there's Val. Where's Val? Rock on. There you are. So if I need to contact somebody, I just go back to I save this to my desktop, and anytime I have to get a parent, I alphabetize it. Right now it's not in alphabetical order, but once I get everybody's names, bam, I just alphabetize it by the last name. That's why I do last name first. And then anytime I need to contact a parent, because you know that the contact in the system is not always correct. So, and a lot of times they'll give me more information when they do it personally than they do when they sign a student up at the beginning of school with the office. So it's very simple. I'm going to show you some tools at the top. If I want to see what this form actually looks like online, then I come up here to form and I go to the live form. This is the one you just filled out. Excuse me. You can edit the form if, like we said, this was a problem. You just come back here, edit the form. And now I can edit with this little pencil. Okay? I can also send the form. So when I want students to fill out something quickly for me that I don't want to have to do myself, like books. I have to keep track of all the books in the classroom. It's a pain in the rear end. So instead, I put this on my Moodle page, and I say to the kids, before the end of the class period, or by the end of the week, I want you to log in, put your book number. Yes, they're going to be honest because they don't really care at that point. And then when they say to me at the end of the year, that was my book number. Oh, really? Because this is the one we put in. I check them every once in a while. Like I'd go up and say, hey, Neil, this has that you have blah, 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 blah. And I do it in front of the kids so that they know that I'm checking for numbers. But I have it on a spreadsheet form, again. And I taught English, so I had lots of different novels that were going out at different times of the year all the time. So I would collect them all. And then when I had the spreadsheet, over in the F column, one of the things would be, when did they get the book? And then the last column, I would put returned book, question mark. And then I just put a Y or an N. So that at the end of the year, when the administration or the secretaries came to me and sent an email out and said, how many books do you have? Who's missing a book? What do you need? You know, who owes me a book? I have it all right there for me. And then I would highlight them in order. So it's a really, really quick and easy way to cut down on the trivial, menial things that we do in the classroom all the time. This will take that away easily for you. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of jump back and forth between a few things for you. What I'd like you to do is,
Have instructions somewhere on how to set all that up?
Yep, we're going to go through one. I'm going to make you do one yourself, and then I'm going to show you how I did it, and then I'll show you where the instructions are. All right, so I did this last year with you, Poll Everywhere, but we didn't spend a lot of time with it. Whoops. So what I'd like you to do, you're not going to this, but I'd like you to go to a new window in your Safari browser. Open up a new window. And I'd like you to click on, or type in the browser. Don't type what I have up here. You're going to type in your browser. Everybody ready? Okay, let me just, when everybody's ready, just look at me and then I'll know. Good. Good. Hey. Good, good. All right, you're going to type POLLEV.com/Mrs. Testerman, no spaces, no period, MRSTESTERMAN, and then hit enter or go, return, whatever it is. Let's see, did it work? Did it work? Did it work? Did it work? Yes, if it worked, what you will see, thanks, I keep using yours, is this. Here's the question I'm posing to you. In what ways can you see using Google Survey in the classroom? Now, what I really want you to notice is my response history over here on the right-hand side. If you had just gone to pollev.com, then you were going to have to type that code up there, 38462, and it could be completely anonymous. Now, you type in here, so I want you to type your answer, and hit submit. And I'm going to show you some cool features about this, especially with the iPad. /Mrs. Testerman. Not www.
But why is it?
Mrs. Testerman. Let me see. What's that? Hi there.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh, there we go. Who typed that in? Accountability inventory. Who said that? And you are? Paul. So Paul put his in right away. Getting students' contact information. I would use this function for end of the year survey on what they liked or didn't like in the class. That's actually what we did with our seminar classes, where they had to say what they did the best, what they thought they didn't improve on, how they would change the class, what would make it easier, what would make it better, that kind of stuff. Student contact information, parent contact information. Everyone else? Who's got it? Who doesn't have it? You don't? Okay. Let me see. Oh, POLLEV.com / Go. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we use it all the time internally between staff. Who wrote that? This would be more work than just having them enter info into Moodle. Perhaps for what kind of info into Moodle?
We do everything in Moodle. Yeah.
So did I. Like tests, quizzes.
We're online, so everything.
Everything is in Moodle.
Do you guys have Gmail through
No, we have an internal thing through Moodle.
Google Docs? You guys don't run that through there?
Our kids don't have accounts.
That's interesting. If you guys are already running everything, you should just ask the IT person.
We've asked.
Yeah.
Really? Well, it's going to have to go to that because it just works well together. They can do Google Docs, everything.
There was a big fight at the end of the year about we want to move to like tablets or something like that. And
Right.
You can't do that.
Well, it's just very frightening for people because of all of the horrible things that they hear about kids breaking through firewalls and I have to be able to spell my name correctly while I'm talking. And, it's frightening. But the problem is what we're doing is we're teaching them to be sneaky. And they are so much more adept at this than we are. Everybody good? Did everybody get there? So they're much more adept at this than we are. And we sort of are teaching them to hide it under their desk, text while we talk. Whereas right now, I know that you're all engaged because you're sitting with this on your laps. I can see what you're doing. And what's great is, on the right-hand side, I always have one person who wants to put something funny, like, let's say, I always get, somebody is gay, that's usually what I get from high schoolers, or I get the F-bomb dropped, or something, because this is very dangerous to have it carte blanche on the screen, just information going. The nice thing is, we know it's Neil because in Neil's history, right here on the right-hand side, it says Neil wrote, oops, I just turned it, getting student contact information. Even if he, like if I come by and we know that Neil wrote Mrs. Testerman is gay on there, we know it was him who did it. If he closes it really quickly and then opens it back up, it's still going to find it. It's still going to be there. And he's going to be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? If you just were to say pullev.com, which is right here, then it doesn't keep that tracking history. So you want to make sure that they go to the Mrs. Testerman or your address, because otherwise it will be completely anonymous, and then you're in trouble. Whereas yesterday in the session that I did at the end of the day, I know I had a wise guy first session, and so at the end of the day, he knew I would be doing this eventually, so he just waited for it to open, and while he was in some other session, he was telling jokes. So I'd be standing here talking, and all of a sudden another joke would pop up, and it was someone else in the room. Nobody else was doing it in here. It was someone else in the room. It will happen. So if you're using this, and your first period class knows that they're using it, and you have some class clown, your fourth period, you open this up, and boom, there's some lovely joke or something inappropriate, and then you walk around the room, and you're like, it wasn't me, I promise. It's probably someone else. So if that's happening, there are some things over here to the right that allow you to stop the poll and then clear the results. So if somebody puts something really quickly up there inappropriate, you can just clear the results and stop the poll. Some of these other awesome tools are, you can view it as, this is the live text wall. You can view it as the response history, a Wordle, word cloud. Yeah, so this is all coming from here, what time of day that they did it. This isn't as fun looking. Let me go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Were you involved?
You didn't do one? Oh, see, someone's doing it.
Okay, so I could have done it twice.
And yes, that's a great, I forgot to mention that. That one, you can do twice. Now, if you try to do this one twice, it's going to say you already voted. So it won't let you do it again. So those are, again, things that you have to think about. Are you going to let them talk more than once? The response one, I don't care. They can talk more than once. But for this, I don't want to skew my numbers. I want only one response for each student. And what's nice is down there in the total results, I can see only 6 people have voted on this so far. So I know I have 9 people. 3 people haven't voted yet.
Suppose your choice is
Which is preferred. That's why I used that word.
Yeah, 'cause I noticed it said responsive to
They
10.
can't add
Okay, so
right?
I could.
Not on this.
So this
Twice. Okay, thank you.
This is great for formative assessment, quick pulse on whether or not they know what they're doing. So at the end of the class period, you have this, and here's your ticket out the door. Here's where you say, you know, what was, if you do essential questions, does anybody do essential questions? That's what I always learned with essential questions and learning focus. They have to be able to answer a question by the end of the day or by the end of the unit. And I want them to be able to answer it this way so I don't have 12,000 little pieces of paper floating around my desk from, you know, 5 or 6 classes a day.
Is that the same as an exit question?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So nobody likes Survivor. That's my favorite one, even though it's been on for 400 years. I still love Survivor. I never miss an episode. But CSI has it. So we can also, you know, do some problems with how did the 38%, I would do this probably with middle school and figure out how many people voted if we know that there are 8 people complete results. Another thing that you can do is if students have never, or if you're doing a professional development and students and teachers have never done this, what you can do is actually open it as a PowerPoint. And it gives instructions at the beginning of the PowerPoint on how to text, tweet, use a mobile device, use the computer. So all this says is if they already know what they're doing, jump to slide 7. If not, start from the beginning. So here you go. If someone doesn't know how to do this, you can show them this first. It's already provided for you by the site. And they'll say, the code is what goes to the number that you're voting. It's almost like American Idol voting. And then the answer goes in your message. This is the same thing for pollev.com. This is the one where if you just do pollev.com, you have no response history on the right-hand side. But if you do the / your name, then you have the response history and you can see who's doing what. And then finally, this is the username one. Oh, and Twitter. Okay, so you can actually vote at Twitter. And then last one, it embeds the entire poll. So there's our poll. It's live. If someone were to vote now, this slide would still change. So while you're in class or while you're, you could have a PowerPoint already set up with all your notes and your information, and then have this poll be the last page. So I can actually add and change. Here you go. I could add another slide right here. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay? And so here are the last notes that we took. And then I say, all right, everybody, take out your devices. What's your preferred TV show? Quick, quick, quick. Let's answer this and move on. And if I'm looking for CSI as my answer, I know, all right, we've done pretty well, but I still have 2 others that are 25% of the classes voted on those. I think we need to do a little bit more review or talk a little bit more about it. So, any questions about that? Any more? Yep.
What versions of PowerPoint is this working?
This goes all the way back to, I think, 97. Yep, 97, 2003, and then all the way up to 2010.
Okay, but it would only do PowerPoint, it would not do OpenOffice?
It would not do what?
OpenOffice?
That's a good question. I'm assuming it would. So if you open this and save this to your hard drive, and then open it through OpenOffice, it should still work. That's a good question. You can also share these. So I can tweet the results, I can email the poll, I can also download it for a Prezi. So if I'm working on a Prezi and I want this to be right in my Prezi as we go along, it'll give me all that information. Okay? All right, so that's this one. Now I'm going to show you my all-time favorite, and I know I touched on this last year, but this one we're going to spend a little bit more time with so I can show you. What I'd like you to go to is M as in Mary, open up a new web page. M as in Mary, no HTTP, no www, just M as in Mary, dot, this word, Socrative.com. And then it will add the HTTP and all that for you. While you're doing that, I'm going to open up the teacher side. Okay, everybody have this? Anybody not have this? And we need a hand. Everybody's good? No? Val, you? Yes, you may, sure.
Back to Poll Everywhere. I forget from last year, was that free or did that cost you?
That's free. Good question. Free up to 50 students. That's the important thing that's why I always clear my results at the end of each class. Because if you don't clear your results, my first class is 32 kids. My second class comes in and that's 32 kids. Well, I have a problem because now it's going to stop me at 50 students. So clear the results at the end of every class. And I would also stop the poll at the end of every class because you're going to get wise guy who's going to be texting and sending all this stuff, and he's going to be using up your space when you need it. Most of these, Socrative is another one. Socrative is 50 students per use. So again, as soon as we're finished, you'll see I'm going to clear the room, and that will end the session for it. You all right? We good? All right, everybody has this? All right, so what this is this is actually a virtual classroom that has been assigned to me in particular. So my room number, this is what you see. This is what I see as a teacher. Oh, of course, I didn't log in yet. And yes, I'm a geek, so it's Shakespeare lover. Whoa. All right, so this is what I see. Here's my room number. That's the number right here. It's not going to let me just highlight it. That you're going to place in that space, 536201. It never changes for me. That's always my classroom number. And then just hit join room. What you'll see right now is waiting for teacher activity to begin. I haven't started anything because I'm going to keep giving information to you and announcements to you and instructions to you, and I don't want you starting the test yet, because once I allow this activity to begin, you're not listening to me anymore. So I want to make sure that you're waiting for me. What I can do is create multiple choice questions, true-false questions, and short answer questions. Obviously, Socrative will grade the first two for you. You have to grade the short answers. So I tend not to do as many short answers on this one. This one's more like a 10 question, 20 question, go kind of quiz. I can start the quiz, which is just a pre-made quiz. I can actually do an exit ticket right here on this, and we're going to try the space race first. What this does, and I know it sounds silly for high schoolers, but my high schoolers loved the space race. Elementary kids, middle school, of course they're going to like it, but my high schoolers, they would be like, come on, hurry up. It's rocket ships that move across the screen, and the color that wins gets extra credit on their test. So, they get all excited. I even had teachers in here yesterday that were like freaking out. Come on, Purple, where are you? Help me out. And I'm like, all right, it's okay, I promise. Now I'm going to give you a quiz that I'm thinking you might not know. That's the point, because I want you to see how they move and how they don't move if you get them right or wrong. So I'm giving you a literature quiz. And most high school science, math teachers don't tend to read as much as, say, a high school English teacher. So I'm going to throw this. Don't be frustrated. If you know this, rock on. I'm even more impressed. But don't be frustrated. What this will do is kind of cool. We'll start with a space race first. And what this will do is I'm going to choose the quiz, and I'm going to say that there are 4 teams, and I'm going to auto-assign the colors. That means when you log in, you don't know what color you're going to get. If you don't auto-assign, then that means these two decide they're going to be one color. These two decide they're going to be another. What's going to happen is as I start the activity, your screen's going to change, and it's going to tell you what color you are. So you won't know who's helping you and who's hurting you in your group right now. Okay? So here, everybody in? Everybody ready? Waiting for teacher activity? Nod. Pretend you're listening. Yeah? All right, everybody nodded. Good. They are listening. So here we go. So it should automatically go. It's going to ask for your name first, I think. Maybe. Okay. So this is one that would not get graded on the space race. This is just so I know who participated in the space race. If you got it wrong, it comes up red. If you get it right, it comes up green. When it comes to a question, you just click on the right answer. I see lots of red. Oh, who's yellow? Who's yellow? Yellow team? All right, look at that. Oh, and a red's come up from behind. Who's red? Uh-oh, blue and green. Oh, yellow's taking the lead.
I didn't know what, no, oh, I'm red.
Blue and green, we have lost you. You're somewhere in the galaxy and you have not begun to run. How are we doing? You got the first one right? That's good. That one's the one that asked for your name, right? Oh, blue, you've come in the game. Green, where are you, green? Where are you, green? Oh, we got a right answer on that one. Where's it going? There's blue. Blue's coming out. Yellow is still in the lead. This is a guy who wrote a really famous novel in the 1920s.
When was he born?
He wrote about a time in the 1920s. Yellow, if you get one more right, you might take the lead and win. Green, I'm not sure where you are or what happened to you, my loves. Green. Yellow, who's yellow? Who's yellow? You are? Who else is yellow? And you are. You guys just won. Look at that. Yellow just took the lead. And the race will continue until every team gets to the end. But I always say first team that makes it to the end gets their extra credit points. If I have enough teams, oh look, red, getting a right answer. Do you see how this works? It's pretty good. You're all frustrated now because you're like, who the heck is F. Scott Fitzgerald? I don't really care about this man. He wrote The Great Gatsby. They're coming out with a new movie with Leonardo DiCaprio in December as Gatsby. The old version, the old movie was Robert Redford was Gatsby. If you've never read it, it's awesome. You should totally read it. And you can get it for free online. It's fantastic, but whatever. Okay. So what I would do is I would wait for everybody, and I would have something else for the yellow team to do at this point. Question, Leah.
Yeah, on the optional ones where you have to type in, do you have a short answer or do you have to grade those later?
I grade those later. I don't actually, for this, I would never have a short answer. It would be all multiple choice, and they would just click through. But I don't do the space race with this one. I just wanted to make sure that I had ones that you weren't going to get all right and some you were going to get right. So, does that make sense? Oh, Green, you're on the board. Where are you, Green? Rock on. We're so excited. All right, so now I can cancel it so everybody's on the board. What will happen now is when I end this activity, it's going to ask me if I want to download a report. I usually download the report just so that I can see who participated that day and then who were the teams that were going to get the extra credit. You don't have to. It could just be a review, and so you're just going to do it that way. So I'm going to say no report with this one. And then we're going to do another quiz. I'm just going to show you how the pre-made quizzes are. So what you want to do is you want to refresh your page so that you're back in it should say waiting for teacher activity. Is it good? I don't usually do 2 activities in a day because what you'll see is it invariably happens. One of you, it won't connect to you. And so the whole class gets started on the actual quiz, and then the one kid, I can't stop it until everyone is finished, and then I have to end it and restart it again for him. So I usually just say, I'm going to do 1 of these a day, and then I'm good. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So the nice thing about this is that I can do a student-paced quiz or a teacher-paced quiz. If I have the students in class who I know are sitting close enough to each other that I'm going to pick on Neil just because I was his wife's roommate in college. Neil is the student who you know is going to sit next to Leah because Leah knows all the answers. And Neil's going to sit next to her, and he's going to wait for her to answer the questions and then say to her, what was the answer? And then he'll answer it. The student-paced one is what will happen. Leah goes, and when she's finished, she's finished. So Neil could cheat off of her. The teacher-paced one is so much more lethargic, but if you know you have that class, I'm going to say, okay, everybody, here's question 1, and it'll shoot you question 1. And then I wait for everybody to be finished. All eyes on me when you're finished. Question 2. All eyes on me. Question 3. Takes a lot longer, but my 10th grade class that I taught, they needed that. So it took a lot longer for quizzes, but it made life a little bit easier because then I really knew who was doing what. So another way to combat that is to randomize the answer choices and to disable the immediate right and wrong feedback. If I turn those off, you don't know what ones you got right and wrong, so at the end, after first period, they don't necessarily go to second period. They can say, these were the questions, but they don't know whether or not they got the answers right or wrong. And then randomizing the answer choices so that when Neil is going to look on Leah's, and he sees her choosing C, he's going to choose C, and it's the wrong answer, okay? So I'm going to start this quiz. This one is a Web 2.0, but it's based on a different Web 2.0 session. It's not based on this one, it's based on a different one. So if you don't get all these right, that's okay. Did anyone's not start? It should have just slid out and started a test for you. Asking for your name first, as always. See, I think you might be the one. Yep, hit refresh, see if it'll work. Oh, it's going to kick you out. Yep, of course it is. You're started. Started. Good, good, good. Isn't it awesome?
You know whether I want to really pay the $7 for all the extra.
I did. It's so worth it.
I stared at it for like 5 minutes back here. I was like,
It's so worth it. I love that. I spend a lot of time doing that. Now, what you'll notice is, like I said, I can see everybody and what you're doing. So while I'm walking around the room and you're taking this quiz, who's KC? Yay. Awesome. That's me too. So while I'm walking around the room, I can say, Stan is on 5 out of 6. So far, he's only gotten 3 out of 4. Or number 1, Paul. Who's Paul? Paul? Oh, geez, Paul. So far, Paul hasn't finished, and he's got a 0 out of 4 right now. I would never have, is that you next? Ray? Are you Ray? All right, so I would never call this out. I would never have this on the screen. Actually, I have this on my iPhone as I'm walking around the classroom, and I'm going, Neil, how do we do it? Awesome, great job, Neil, awesome, fantastic. You know, and I'm going that way, and then I say, all right, I see that I still have 3 more people who have to finish, 4 more people have to finish. We can't end this activity until the 4 of you finish. So as you're finishing, as you're doing this, again, I always have something else for them to do because kids are going to work at different paces. Otherwise, you're going to sit here and then have them starting to send messages and tweet and comment on Facebook or whatever. So, Paul and Ray, did you guys give up? Yeah? All right, so I'm just going to I'm going to end the activity, and I'm going to show you what this will do for you as a teacher. It's a pretty awesome thing. So I'm going to end the activity. And again, it's going to ask me about a report. I can email it to myself. That Shakespeare Lover, that first email that I put in, that's where it's going to email it. Or I can just download a report. And what's cool is visually, what does it show me? It shows me the right and the wrong answers colored correctly. So I know that I don't need to spend any more time on this or this. I really don't need to, I'm more than 90% here with these people. And this one, again, Paul and Ray, we may need to talk after class, okay? So if you can stay a little bit longer after class, we'll talk about this. That's what I would do, okay? So I can see this right away, that for the most part, we get it. And it's a good idea to figure out, to use this for formative assessment. Some of the things on the end, what tool was your favorite? Neil, we don't know yet. We still have time to figure it out. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not going to do anything with these. It's just to show you. All right, any questions about this? If I slide all the way over, it'll tell me 75%, 100%, 0, 75, 40%. And then I can take those scores and put them right in my grade book if I want. Okay, any questions? So now what's the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the room because I want to make sure that the next group that comes in, I can use this for them. So as long as I clear the room, there it is, the room's cleared. You can log off and close that. We're not going to use it again. I'm just going to show you that Socrative.com, this is where you can sign up. Free, get started now. How it works, yes, I've already talked to them about the fact that they're hiring. Okay, hands-on demo. Here's a demo that it will allow it to run a space race for you. And I don't know if I put this on my page. I think I did, but just so you know. Okay, let me see. I'll add it down here so that you have it. I don't have it. Yeah, I don't have it. I pull everywhere. Okay, any other questions? All right, we're going to come back to my page. And I need you to take this quiz. This quiz is actually based on what we're doing in the session today. And I need you to take this quiz because then I'm going to show you how Google will grade it for you. Okay, so you're going to take the second quiz that's right there, link to the quiz. You want to go back to my web page. I'm sorry, what? Oh, you want to go to the kctestandtech.wikispaces.com. Find it? And then you're going to come over here to the 2012. And it's this one right there. what I did was, and I'm going to show you how to create this little quiz first, and then I'm going to show you how to grade it. So if you would go to, everyone should have a Google account, right? Right? A Gmail account? They were told you to make one? Yeah? If not, make one really quickly. So you're going to open up a new tab, and I'll show you how I got all this stuff here. So you're going to open up a new tab. Just go to google.com. What you probably see are 4 things across the top left, if you're there. If you're not logged in, I need you to log in. So if in the top right it says sign in, you still haven't signed in. And I need you to do that first.
Does the guest network kick you off?
So you're gonna sign. Yes, it does all the time. So you'll have to just keep coming back in. Yep. All right, so you should see, top left, you should see Google or search images, documents, and more probably. Top left, correct? And then top right should be your name. I have a few extra things on mine. It doesn't always come up that way. So we're just going to Google, google.com. Yep. So while I'm just waiting for everybody to get there, what's great about Google is that it is a synchronous document collaborator. That means that, Casey, where do you teach?
PA leadership.
Oh, in Westchester? Is that where it is? Okay. So I live out near Lancaster. So Casey and I want to work together just because she has a cool name. So we decided we're going to build a document together. Casey could be working on it in Westchester, and I could be working on it in Acklen, and it will be showing up at the same time. The only difference is mine may be showing up in blue because that's what color it assigned me, and the other Casey's will be showing up in red because that's what color it assigned her. It's an awesome thing. For instance, I'll give you an example how I used it outside of the classroom. My sister was having a baby. She didn't want to register at one specific place. She thought that was dumb. And so she said, I'm going to give you a list of the things I want, and you can get them from any store. Okay, so she said, I want I don't know, a baby blender or whatever those are called. You know what I'm talking about? The baby bullet, thank you, the baby bullet. But she said, it doesn't have to be a bullet. It could be something to that effect. So you didn't have to buy it at that one place. The problem with that is, Leah goes to the same baby shower, and she buys her the bullet, and I buy her the bullet, because we don't know that each of us bought the same thing at different stores. So we used a Google spreadsheet. I created a spreadsheet with a list of the things she wanted. And then I sent it out to all the participants. I emailed it to them. They all opened it up. The document all opens up in front of them. And as they purchased the item that they wanted, they just put, bought by Leah, bought by Casey, bought by Linda. And then I knew anytime I needed to go there what she still needed and who bought what. That's what Google will allow you to do. My college students that I teach, when we watch a video, I know that they're going to be texting. So I want them to be paying attention. Instead of sitting there texting or playing on Facebook, I share a document with them on Google. I send it all out to them before the class. And then when I start the film, they have to log in, and they're all taking notes. Sometimes I do it on a spreadsheet and they each get their own column, or just do it on a Word document. Totally frustrates them. But they have to pay attention. And so Leah's paying attention to certain things, aspects of the film. I'm paying attention to other aspects of the film. And then when we put those notes together, I have a good compilation of information from that film that we can all refer back to and use anytime we need. I have a lot of students who, when I grew up, I went to a private school. And I couldn't team up with certain people because I lived in the south below where my school was. They lived north of where the school was, which made us all about an hour, hour and a half away from each other. My parents were like, no way are you going to go to Neil's house. He lives too far away. But he's my partner. What am I going to do? Well, we can collaborate, Google. You can do everything at the same time. So it's an awesome tool. A lot of administrators use it. Are we all good? Signed in? All right. We're going to use what is probably on yours called Google Documents. Google Docs is moving to Google Drive, but you might not have this at the top because Google Drive is allowing you to save everything. I save my music, my books, my flip charts, my files, my photos, everything is saved on there. God forbid Google gets rid of everything, but I'm good. I don't ever have to carry a jump drive. I don't ever email documents to myself. I can share anything. So Neil and I find out, are teaching the same topic. What do you teach, Neil? Give me a topic. Okay, so give me a topic.
Cardiovascular.
What? Cardiovascular. Awesome. I have already created, fancy that, I've already created a flip chart on the cardiovascular system. So instead of reinventing the wheel, I go to my Google Drive and I shoot him a copy of it, and he can access it from my drive. There's no point in reinventing the wheel, guys. We all somewhere teach the same thing someplace. Share it. Everything that I show you, beg, borrow, steal, I've stolen it from someone else, they've given it to me, steal it from me. Use it, tweak it, change it, do whatever you need to do, because that's the way that we're going to get better. Yours probably does not say drive, it probably says more, correct? What does yours say, Val, at the top? You got more? Click on the more. If in that drop-down list it doesn't say documents, then you got to choose down at the bottom where it says even more. Okay, so we're trying to find the word documents. And if I can't find it, I'm going to come down here and choose even more. And I'm going to scroll till I find the word docs. Here it is. Everybody good? You got Google Docs? Okay, and it says meet your drive. Google Docs has become Google Drive. And what's great is Google Drive has an app. You can download an app. I have it on my phone. I have it on my iPad. If you have not updated your iPad and it's not 5.1, Google Drive doesn't work on your iPad. So you have to update it first before you can get that new app. Okay? But it's okay if you haven't, because here you are. You're on your iPad and you have access to your Google Drive. Google Drive you can download on your PC. That's what this one is. So if you go home and you're like, this is a great idea. I could save everything from my laptop and everything from my work computer in one spot so that no matter where I am, I can access it. It makes a lot of sense. Then right here, you come to this page and you click download Google Drive for the PC. It'll download it onto your computer, onto your hard drive. And then every time I create a new document on my hard drive, it automatically saves it in there. It sends it there every time. So that I'm on the train or I'm on the plane. I was on the plane and I needed to do some work. I wanted to read a book. And I have all of my books. If you look over here, I'm going to drop my drive down and you can see all my folders. I have a lot. I wanted to read a book, so I dropped my books down. I wanted to read where was it? What's her name? Bossy Pants. Who's the Tina Fey? Oh, I already downloaded it, that's why. So let's say I'm going to read, oh, here she is, Tina Fey. So there's my Bossy Pants EPUB document. I had it saved on my drive, and I just opened it into iBooks, and there it was. As soon as I opened it, it was my file. All my music was on here as well, so if I wanted to listen to my music, and I hadn't already downloaded it onto my iPad, because my iPad doesn't hold as much as, say, my iPhone, we can just go to music. Want to hear a little Lil Wayne? How about some Chris Daughtry? That might make it a little less scary.
Casey, I'm not seeing where you were able to select drive. I'm in the big list. I've selected even more, and it's not there.
You should look for docs because you don't have drive yet. Do you see it as you scroll down?
Even if I have, yeah, I click, when you click docs, I don't see any of that. Like, and I've used Google Docs before, so
Right.
I don't see your list, like a list at all.
Okay, let me come look real quick.
Are you on mobile or desktop? I just click desktop.
Yes, oh, I forgot to tell you about that. Yeah, that's true.
Ads, it'll
this is your friend right here. Wait. Oh, I have to show you one here.
So which one should it be on?
Desktop. Sorry, I showed that to everybody else, and I completely skipped over it because I wasn't on my. Oh, my iPad is so ridiculous. This signal's ridiculous. All right. Anyway, we're not going to play that because I'm not on my iPad. Anyway, just doesn't want to submit.
What was that .e-pub? What kind of file was that?
That's a iBooks file.
iBooks file?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So if you were like, hey, I really want to read that book, Bossy Pants, I can send it to you. So this is, oops. Where's Dot? There it is, Drive. This is your really important thing down here. Desktop. Okay? Mobile is only if you need to access something quickly, like Casey sees me and says, hey, I'd really like to get a copy of that lesson plan that you did. So on my mobile, I just open it, find it, share it with her. But the desktop allows you to do a lot more and allows you to do the creation, and that's what we're doing now. We're going to create a form like the one that we did when you came in and the one we did halfway through. So I need you to click this desktop right here. Did everybody click that? Val? Yep. Yep. So I'm going to click that desktop down here at the bottom, and now it should look like the one, it should now look a little bit better. Is that right? Looks better? Cool.
Okay, I got it. And I want to click on that.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll be right there. There it is. See that little tiny desktop down there? You probably don't have anything in your file yet. There it is, right here.
I clicked it. It seems to be still loading.
Try it again. Do it one more time. That's it. Yep, you got it.
So this is in
Because if I do
the drive.
Mm-hmm. That's what you actually have in your drive.
anything. When I go to when I did the desktop or documents.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second.
Okay. Oh, there. That's why, because it's kicking you out. You got to do this again.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to sign in. Google account.
Do I have an account?
You should. If not, you can create a free one real quick.
A free one
Yep.
quickly?
Yep, just see if you can remember it. Okay, yeah, so you have a lot of things in yours. There are some people probably who have the desktop version. Who have nothing in it. Is anyone hasn't used Google at all? Okay, so yeah. So Neil's is going to look different. This is if you haven't used Google Docs or Google Drive yet. He doesn't have my list. Oh, my emails keep popping up. He doesn't have the list that I have, but he still has this really important button right here, this Create button, which is where you found it now, Val? You're good? All right, cool. You're right over here? You want to click Desktop. See this tiny little desktop down there?
Yeah, I did. Nothing's coming up on it.
There we go.
There it goes.
It's sometimes just, it's really, really slow. All right, I hate using this because of this green film that it's got here. So I am going to pop back to this one. It's still the same. As you see, I'm now going to the PC. It looks the exact same. It opened iTunes. Okay, so this is how you upload things to it. If you're on your PC and you want to upload all of your documents to this file, you just click on that picture of the hard drive and you upload all your files. You can upload them all at once. You don't have to upload one at a time. I have thousands, probably more than that, of files on here. And so when I left Coatesville this year, I had been teaching for 15 years, and I had all of my music on my iTunes, and I had all of my flip charts that I created. I wanted to be able to take all those things with me. So instead of, like when I left Solanco, I moved from a different district, Lancaster to Chester County, I had tons of CDs. I put those CDs in and burned all my stuff onto a CD. What a pain. Now instead, I just click upload, and it's this simple. Click upload, and you click files. 5 gig is free. It was not enough for me. So I paid for more, and that's what that's saying. I've only used 26% of what I now have available. Don't go for more until you realize you've run out of room. It will tell you when you don't have enough room. So if you go back to your computer, if you've been teaching for a really long time and you have lots of stuff as e-files, you're probably going to need to pay for the bigger hard drive or storage drive. If not, you've been teaching for 3 years, you probably don't have that much stuff on there unless you have a lot of music. Okay? All right, but I'm going to show you how to create that quiz, and then I'm going to show you how Google's going to grade it, and then we'll be finished. So I want you to click right over here where it says create, and you have a lot of options. You can create a document, which is what I was saying. You could just be typing, and Paul could be typing on the same document somewhere else, anywhere in the world. Presentation is like a PowerPoint. Spreadsheet is just a spreadsheet. But we're going to do that one form. You can also do a drawing. So you can have kids doing like cartoons on a PowerPoint, which are like animated in the drawing. Okay, so form is what we're doing. So you're going to scroll down and click on form. And just like what I said earlier, it's Paul, right? To Paul, when he asked about how laborious was it to do a Prezi on the iPad, doing it on here takes a little bit more time and getting used to. I move my questions all the time because I feel like I'm going to slide my finger up to scroll, and you can't do it that way on this. It'll move your question on the form. So you just have to get used to what things are. What you have here is, here's one question that they've already created for you. Here's another question that you're going to edit, and then that's your instructions, where you would put your instructions. So you don't have to change any of these things. You can just watch what I'm going to change, unless you want to type it. So I'm just going to call this Immaculata 2012. Here's where I can put instructions. Here's the first question, your name. And then in the help text, you don't have to fill this in. I'm putting last name first. I want them to have to answer this question. If you check this box, they cannot hit submit until they've answered all the questions. I make sure I check that box. Click done. This is what it looks like. Okay, here's my sample question. I can change my question order, or I can edit this one. So I'm going to make this one a multiple choice. What is your favorite? And I'm going to say multiple choice. Blue, red, orange, green. See how much easier it is to do it on this? Because I can hit the tab. The next button doesn't necessarily work the same way on the iPad. You just have to get used to those. And then I'm going to add one more question. So if you look up here, this is how you add more questions to your form. So I'm going to add an item, and I'm going to add a scale. Your preference of heat. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. Hate it. Love it. Make it required. All right, so if I want to look at this, right down here is the link to the live form. But this is what it's going to look like. It's kind of boring. I want to change the theme. So up here under theme, it says plain. I'm going to click that, and now I have some options to put in the background. You'll notice this is the one that I used on the quiz you took. Maybe I want to say I want this as my background. That's a good question. I have never tried. I've never tried. I can't say that I know that answer. So now I want to see what it looks like. That's a great question. Here we go. This is what it looks like. I add it. It looks official. It looks like somebody fancy did it, and we did it in 3 seconds. Then, Val.
How did you add your name?
This right here, this is the help text, and that's the question title. Okay? So if I want to see this form, here's what it actually looks like for me as a teacher. I want to go to the live form. There it is. All right? This is the one that you guys just did. Right? Now, the question is, how can I make Google grade this for me? Because I don't want to have to go through every single row and figure out what the answers were. Because honesty's sake, I did this in Moodle. That's where I did all of my quizzes. But the nice thing about this is, once I'm finished with this, this can email your grade to each student. So that's why I asked for your email. And what you have to do is you actually have to add this little guy right here, Flubberoo. Okay? Bless you. It's a script that has to be added. Right now, if you were to look at this, you would stop right here at help. You would have file to help. Did anyone check to see what their form looked like when did anyone create a form? So if you were at this point, once they've entered something, this is what you would see. And what you see up here on my screen, there's no Flubberoo right here. Okay? I'm going to show you how to do it, but again, on my web page, I have screenshot pictures how to do each one of these steps. Okay? So it's this simple. If you want to watch on my screen really quickly, this is how simple it is. Insert. I'm inserting a script. I'm going to search for Flubberoo. Here it is, and I'm going to install. Once I install it, oops, that's the wrong one. I'm going to install it on this one because this is the one that we actually care about. It showed up last time. Flubberoo. I was trying to install it on the one you guys just took. Click install. It'll run a minute.
So you have to run it for each, you have to install it for each spreadsheet?
No, this is not my computer.
Oh, okay.
So it cleans everything. Yeah. You can even do this on your iPad. I mean, it works on your iPad. I tried it. So here we go. It's installed. There it is. See it? Now this is how easy it is to grade this entire worksheet. Flubberoo. Grade assignment. Yes. So it is looking at every question I asked. Your name. What was the tool used for the space race? What tool was used? What is your email? It gives me options. I can make everything worth 1.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 point. Let me blow this up so you can see it a little easier. I can just say that, don't grade this one. This is identifying who the student is, or I can skip grading the one. So I'm going to have this one identify, because that's your name. Everything's worth a point, and skip grading the email one. Does that make sense? Just click continue. So there it goes. It's going to start to grade, and it's going to say, wait a minute, how do I know what the right answers are? Well, as soon as I created the quiz, I went in and took the quiz and made sure I put the right answers. So now it's saying, which of these people has the right answer? Well, it's mine. Continue. There it is. And there we go. Again, sorry if this is embarrassing you. View the grades. Leah got an 80%. Casey got an 80%. Val, 60%. It's highlighting anything below 60 or below in red. And then over here, this one we did really well. The average is 87.5 on that question. I don't need to reteach that. 50%, what tool was used for free on unlimited? Well, 50% knew it. 12% knew this one. 87.5, 87.5. Okay, pretty great. What you'll notice is down here now, it has some tabs. Student submissions, this is what you submitted. Now here's my grading tab. I can, protect the sheet, hide it, whatever. And now, because I've graded it, I can view a report or I can email the grades.
And you insert those grades into your Moodle account?
My grading system at school is not attached to Moodle.
Okay.
So I would have to enter it anyway.
So you use Moodle for fun?
I use Moodle for paperless classroom. So all my handouts are on there. All my quizzes are on there. We do wikis on there. They do projects. I put podcasts on there.
They would access their homework through your Moodle site?
Correct. Yep. So email address question. list of questions and scores, include the answer key, and I'm going to say, thanks for playing. This is going to go to you guys. So if it works, you should get an email. Oh, no valid email addresses. I have it in the wrong spot. Well, anyway, I'm not going to.
No, in your form you said it had to be a Google address. Is that the only way it'll email the results?
It should, yeah.
So if
Maybe I have a Yahoo and I have this should be gmail.com. Yeah. And Neil, maybe. I don't know if that's true. I have to check that out. I have all the instructions here.
So it emails the student?
Yep, with their grade. Just their grade and what they got. Each question, if you want it to be, with what they got right and wrong. So on my website, here it is. So if you're like, oh, I really like that, this is what I'd like to work on. Here is PDF file for how to do a Google form, beginning to end. Click here. And go. Here it is. What's a Google form, how to create it, what are the types of questions, how to add it, how to change it, how to edit it. The whole thing's there for you. In addition, I have Flipperoo. This one has screenshots. So how do you do it? Here you go. The screenshots, it'll tell you in order, create an assignment, create a form, sign it, grade it, Flubberoo, install, all that's there for you. In addition, you can also do data collection with Google, and you may like this. You can do these sorts of things, and then use the visualize key. Let's see if I can find it. So data, it's not showing up. Well, I didn't do, this isn't the right type of form, but there's one where it actually does a visualize, and it's not showing up. It will allow you to see the form completely as a chart, bar graph, pie graph, all of those things. I have a bunch of Google resources. Google's starting to do lesson plans for teachers. So I have a few of these in here. Maybe you are talking about erosion. Here's a lesson plan. They tell you the materials, the instructions. They have videos for a lot of them, handouts. And then it also does the evaluation for you and the state standards down at the bottom. So, and that's right on my page as well. Right under, I have so many tabs open now. Google lesson plans. Yep. This is the paper app. This Team Viewer is a remote access for your PC. So you could actually use that, download it, it's free. Open the app, and then you can view someone else's PC. It's like when you call Verizon and they say, well, let me log into your computer and see what you see. That's what the Team Viewer will allow you to do. Splashtop and Whiteboard, I'm going to see if it works. The connection here is so poor. Basically, these two you pay for if you're interested in it. So I'm going to try and open Splashtop. And what it's going to do is it's going to find this computer and allow me to teach from the back of the room. So this is the computer. I already downloaded the free software on here. You're all seeing my passwords? Sorry. Unable to connect. Of course it is. Anyway, it normally connects. Okay, so it's not, because the signal here is so terrible. And what I would then be able to do is pick up my iPad and teach from the back of the room and work my desktop. So, and then the last one's on the page. Puffin is here. On live desktop. I don't know if it'll work also. I'm going to try and open it while I'm telling you about the last one. Space Math. How many of you have used Space Math? Oh, it's awesome. You guys are science high school, right? So math and science, let's say you're studying space travel. It looks like a lot of information, but you just want to focus on one aspect of this little blurb. It says what grade level it's for, and then the topic it covers. So even though this is 6 to 8, maybe you're doing speed, distance, time. You click on that file. So I'm going to click on that one. And it will open up a PDF lesson for you with problems. So it has the problem number 1, problem number 2, problem number 3, problem number 4, and then it gives the answer keys. So here are all the answers with explanations as to why. So that is math by grade level. So if you have math teachers in the high school that you could pass this along to, it breaks it down for Algebra 1, 2, Geometry, and Calculus. Then it has math and science, math and engineering. Maybe you're, and again, you look here to see, am I covering any of these things? So maybe I'm doing metric math. I'm just making up things, I don't know. So here you go, exploring the nighttime launch of stereo, which is the one mission. Problem number 1, by using trigonometry formula, what's the horizontal scale of this image in meters at the distance of the horizon? Here's the answer and why. Okay? Has a few games too. Math games, which are like I Spy games if you're looking for something to do right before Christmas. Shuttle control panel. This one comes up sideways. But basically, they show you 2 images of the shuttle control. 1, 2, and here's the answer. This is where everything's different. Here, 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 here. Any questions? Here's the last one I'm going to show you. What does that look like? Looks like a desktop, right? That's my iPad. It's actually my iPad. It's called On Live. So here's my iPad. Okay, it's going upside down. And it allows you, so you were asking about the Open Office. This might even help you out that way too. It's free. On Live Desktop is free iPad app. You have to register on a computer first. You could do it from Safari or from Puffin. Probably from Puffin would be your best bet. And you register, get an account, and then you open this app, put the username and password in, and it opens up just like, so when I open this Microsoft Word, you'll see, it looks just like Microsoft Word, and I'm on my iPad. Word 2010, starting, there it is, just what you're used to. So.
It has all that, like Word 2010, you don't have to have it already.
Correct, I don't have it on my I don't have anything like that on my iPad.
Well, you don't have to have it on your computer either.
I don't have it on my computer either. Yep. Yep. So I would email like a document to myself. So I would create it on this and I want it to stay in the Word format. And then I just shoot it in an email and anybody who has Word can open it, that kind of stuff.